These are the inconsistent men who fuck with your mind. You never really know where you stand. And if it feels like most men are these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, there's actually a reason for all of this. And it took me a really long time to figure this out. Years. So, this is about to save you a hell of a lot of time. If you're a successful woman in your 30s or 40s and you are exhausted by dating, scared you'll never find love, and unsure why you're still single, you are in the right place. Welcome to Find Love with Emily. I'm Emily Bucknell, and I am not here to give you more of the same old dating advice, tell you to try harder, swipe more, fix yourself, or wait for your luck to change, because you already know that none of that works. This is where we look below the surface at how love really happens, the one rule it always follows, and the reason dating has felt so hard for so long. Because when you see that, dating finally makes sense and love becomes possible again, even if it's been years since you've been on a decent date. So let's get into today's episode. The emotionally unavailable, avoidant men. They make dating a real pleasure, don't they? So we're talking about the men who start something with you, get you all interested, and then they slowly pull away or they ghost you. The men who give you enough moments of acting like a boyfriend, so you think that they're interested, but then they say they don't want a relationship or anything serious. All the men who you end up in the dreaded situationship with, the men that will text you for weeks but never ask you out on a date. They may suggest dates, they may make plans, but then they flake or they never follow through. Like, let's meet up on Saturday, and then Saturday comes and goes and you haven't actually heard from them. Or they disappear on you for days and weeks at a time and then pop back up like nothing have happened. I mean, you get the drift. These are the inconsistent men who fuck with your mind. Like, you never really know where you stand. And right now you're probably wondering, why are all men like this? Why aren't there any decent men left? Why do I keep attracting these men? And if it feels like most men are these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, or like this is the general type of man that you attract or have dated in the last 3 years, that is not random. There's actually a reason for all of this. And it took me a really long time to figure this out. Years. So, this is about to save you a hell of a lot of time. And it was years that I saw my friends meet the kind of man that I always wanted to meet. Men who were consistent, genuine. They made it really clear how they felt. They wanted the kind of relationship that my friends did. And it was all totally drama free. And then me, on the other hand, I'd have these guys that would give me just enough that I thought it could be something. I was always hanging on to their potential. Most of the time it never really went anywhere, but I was so sucked into what I thought it could be that I just kept hanging on, just in case they started showing up for me in the way that I wanted them to. I would be 3 months into seeing someone, phone glued to me on a Friday to see if they'd planned anything for that weekend. I'd be using every little thing he did or he said to kind of decipher where I actually stood with him. And it was so much drama. The high highs when he texted back or actually planned something, to the lowest of lows when they'd say they thought I was great, but that I'd make somebody else super happy. It was bloody awful. But I figured my way out of all of this. So literally, when I met my husband, we had our first date on a Friday. That night, he said he'd call me the next day. So he called me on Saturday, organized to pick me up for lunch on Sunday. We dated in between, but 2 weeks later, he asked me to be his girlfriend. 6 months later, we moved in together, and the rest is freaking history. That is what I want for you. That is what I'm here to help you have, because I promise you, those kind, loyal, genuine, consistent, commitment-ready men, they do exist. But the only way that you can attract them is what I'm about to walk you through. I want to make it clear that attracting these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, it's not going to change on its own. So if you've had enough of all of this, you want to stop attracting these men and finally attract the men who are consistent, who do want a relationship, who are kind, who are loyal, who are genuine, who are interested in you, who make you a priority, I want you to listen to this episode a few times so you soak up all the gold that I'm about to deliver to you. Even get out some paper or pen, take notes. Because first I'm going to walk you through the 3 reasons why you keep attracting these men. And then we're going to get into the 3 steps that actually break this pattern for good. So, why you keep attracting these men regardless of what app you use, where you go, what you do, or how hard you try. The first reason. What has happened without you really realizing is that you're giving these emotionally unavailable, these avoidant men, a ton of your focus, your energy, and attention. Because generally with these men too, like I said, there's a lot of emotional intensity. There's often the chemistry, the attraction, but then there's this like push-pull dynamic of the relationship, the high highs and the low lows. And where there's that emotional intensity, when you're putting a ton of your time, energy, attention, and focus into these men, what your brain, your subconscious mind does is it flags these men as important, which to your subconscious mind means find more of them. Even if consciously you never want to date an emotionally unavailable, avoidant man again, your subconscious is making sure that these men are all that you experience. Like you might have heard people say, what you focus on grows. And I'm sure you've had that experience buying a new car. All of a sudden you see the exact car that you want everywhere. Those cars were always there. It's just that now you've told your brain, your subconscious mind, that this car is important. It needs more of your attention. And so it draws your attention to them. You know as well as I do that this isn't actually as simple as not focusing on these men. Like you can consciously know these men aren't treating you the way that you want to be treated, that it's better for you to cut ties, to forget about them totally. But then you can't stop yourself from replying straight away when he sends you a text at 11 p.m. or you're checking your phone 100 times a day in case he's replied. And that's because of the root cause of all of this that we'll get to really soon. So the second reason that you've been stuck in this pattern, attracting these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, and this was a mistake I made for years that you might be making as well, and that's not accepting or being very slow to accept that these men are not right for you. Instead, what we do is we make allowances for the fact that he takes weeks to respond to a message, for the fact that he doesn't plan dates, he doesn't want a relationship, he doesn't do anything that makes you feel like he cares. By saying things like, oh, he's just been busy with work, there's family stuff he's going through, he just got out of a messy relationship, so he wants to take things slow, he has so much potential, and so you don't want to cut ties too soon. It feels easier to hang on to that potential we've decided we can see than to face the facts. Like here is the brutally honest truth about dating. The whole point is to weed out the men who are right for you from the men who are not. And the men who aren't right for you are the men who are not right for you. Like believe them when they show you who they are. They are not going to change. And this is super important. This is not a reason then to start hating on these men or men generally. 100%. I need to do a whole other podcast episode about this because, oh my gosh, hating men is not how you find love. And this is a mistake that I see millions of single women making in their 30s and 40s. Like you only need to scroll for a second on Instagram through dating content and you'll see it there. Dating a man is only going to ruin my life. Men have nothing to offer. And then these women wonder why they only attract men who ruin their lives and have nothing to offer. I mean, would you date a man who thinks women are all too emotional, too needy, too much work, not worthy of effort and gold diggers? Like, fuck no, you'd run a mile. And for sure, I know you might have every reason to hate the emotionally unavailable, avoidant men that you have dated. There are a lot of emotions when it comes to dating, and it's pretty normal for hurt to be expressed as anger. But what I am here to help you do is find love, to attract better men, and that does not happen through hate. Love follows love. And I do actually get some very angry women who comment on my content or send me DMs on Instagram telling me off, saying that it's men that need to be better. It shouldn't be on women to do anything. Men should just change. I mean, how is that going? Have you ever seen a man change because you sent him a block of text telling him to treat you better? I have now seen hundreds of women attract the most loving, loyal, genuine men by following the one rule love does, by changing the way they feel and what they believe about men. Like, think of it this way. You're not supposed to be with every man on the planet. The wrong man for you is supposed to make it clear he's the wrong man for you. So these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, they're doing what they're meant to do. They are showing you that they are the wrong men. And I know what I'm about to say will probably annoy you. It used to annoy me too. I guarantee that these men will not be emotionally unavailable or avoidant when they meet the woman that they're supposed to be with. So from here on out, let's make it easier for you. Instead of wishing that these men were different or they didn't exist, we're going to focus on attracting the right man. And I'll show you how in a second. So this brings us to the third big old reason that you keep attracting these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, which really is the root of why you attract these men in the first place. It is super duper important that you pay attention to what I'm about to say if you have ever thought these thoughts or said these words out loud. I only attract emotionally unavailable or avoidant men. There aren't any decent men left. I'm not someone that men who want a relationship choose. These thoughts come from beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind. Your beliefs are what program your subconscious mind, which controls 95% of what you feel, think, do, and experience. It is running the show. So consciously, you might want to stop attracting these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men and finally meet the emotionally available man who will meet you in the kind of relationship that you want. But if subconsciously you believe, I only attract emotionally unavailable men, you will only attract emotionally unavailable men. Your brain will literally make sure you never see all the men who do exist right now, who are emotionally available, who will meet you in the exact kind of real, loving, lasting relationship that you want. It will make sure you don't see the red flags straight up. It'll have you go for chemistry over everything else. It'll get you all attached to the avoidant men. The other part of this is that your subconscious mind, its main aim is to keep you safe. You might have heard people say we choose the familiar hell over the unfamiliar heaven. The familiar, what you know, emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, they feel safe to your subconscious mind. They might not be what you want, but they are what you know. Especially if you have the belief, I only attract emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, then your subconscious mind thinks, well, if I'm not with these men, then I'll have no one. Like, these men are the best I can get, so let's stay here. And maybe you're the same as me back in the day. I found it near impossible to cut ties with, to say no to the emotionally unavailable men that I dated. I knew consciously that they weren't right for me, that they weren't giving me what I wanted. But deep down, I thought they were the best I could get. Breadcrumbs from these men felt better than nothing at all. If I didn't have them, then I had nothing. And that's damn scary to your subconscious mind. Which meant then I had this steady stream of emotionally unavailable, avoidant men to protect myself from having nothing. So what do we do about all of this? How do we break these patterns so you stop attracting these men and finally attract the safe, genuine, kind, consistent, loyal men who will show up for you in the committed relationship that you want? There are 3 steps here. Number 1, we gotta leave these men in your past. And this happens naturally when you follow all these 3 steps. So yes, these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men, they suck. They haven't treated you well. They haven't given you anything close to what you deserve. But from here on out, we're leaving that all in the past. No more trying to figure out why he is the way he is. No more making excuses for him, talking about him endlessly with friends, checking your phone for his breadcrumbs, going down the rabbit holes of if only he or maybe if I. The man who is emotionally unavailable or avoidant is the wrong man for you. And from here on out, we don't focus on the wrong men. We focus on love because love follows love. So how do we actually do this? consider how these men leave you feeling. Often it's all the hurt, the pain, resentment, frustration, hopelessness, anger. Not only does all of that energy keep you attached to him, it means you just keep attracting men who leave you feeling that way. Like attracts like. If you haven't listened to the episode, What's Actually Keeping You Single Over 30, I'll link it in the show notes. But inside that episode, there's an epic little exercise I walk you through that shows you just how damn important your energy is when it comes to the type of men you attract. So what we need to do is clear, heal, and release all of that hurt, that pain, the resentment, the hopelessness, which means that you naturally feel better, you feel lighter, happier, more hopeful, you feel closer to love. Love follows love. This actually frees you so you can attract better men. And for real, in doing this alone, you will notice a shift in the men that you attract. And this happens all the time from my Attract Your Man students. I get DMs all the time from women who are shocked by the quality of men that they now attract. Men who are consistent, who show up for them, who plan dates. Which obviously then makes it easier to palm off all the emotionally unavailable avoidant men if they show up. Because your brain is starting to get evidence that you can and do attract better men. So there are a whole bunch of energetic and somatic practices we use inside Attract Your Man to do this. One of the crowd favorites, it's my favorite too, is the karma cleanse. This is like a big energetic spring clean of your entire dating past. You will feel the shift immediately, like wiping the slate clean, clearing out all the dating baggage that these men have left you with. So even now, what I want you to do, write down on a piece of paper why you are done attracting these emotionally unavailable avoidant men. What you're done experiencing when it comes to dating. What you're done feeling when it comes to dating, when it comes to finding love, when it comes to relationships. And what you're done accepting. And take some time to really journal through all those questions, get everything up that wants to come up. And then rip up that page if you can, safety first always, set it on fire and just feel it release. Make it final. And I will say though, that love, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, always wants to make sure that you've learned the lesson. So it's likely that you will attract other emotionally unavailable or avoidant men, which I think is always kind of epic to prove to yourself that you can do this. You can break this pattern and you can attract better. And I remember when this happened to me, it was actually the guy I dated before my husband. We probably went on 3 or 4 dates, not exclusive or anything, but he was a really genuinely nice guy. And then one of his grandparents died overseas, so he left for about a month. And I sent him a couple of messages checking in, and I didn't get a lot back. So for the first time ever, I just moved on to my husband. I literally met my husband only a few weeks after this guy. And then a few weeks later, this guy actually sent me a message apologizing for the way that he treated me and seeing if he could take me out. And to be honest, I had the pleasure of saying, no, I have a boyfriend now. But I wish more people truly understood the power of saying, this isn't for me, and moving on with simple acceptance without all the resentment or the anger. And I know that the only way I could do this was getting into a really solid daily routine, using those energetic and somatic practices that you'll now find inside Attract Your Man. It was so much easier for me to just cut ties and move on without all the drama. So that's step 1, clearing out all the emotionally unavailable men. Now we have room to attract in the men that you do want to date. This is step number 2. Like I said before, what you focus on, you get more of. So let's focus on the men that you do want. Give them love, all your good vibes. Give them your focus and attention because love follows love. Inside week 3 of Attract Your Man, I walk you through a few exercises that actually help you get really clear about the kind of relationship you truly want, like deep down at the soul level. This is not about what he looks like, how tall he is, what he does for a job, where he lives, or any of that superficial garbage. Focusing on that will not help you find love. It generally has the opposite effect. We'll save that conversation for another day. Or I guess you'll find it inside Attract Your Man. But what I want you to do now is simply give love to all the men in your life now that you do love, that you appreciate, that you admire. This could be your dad, granddads, uncles, brothers, cousins, friends, men you work with, even your friends' partners. Like, what do you love, admire, appreciate, think is awesome about these men? Make that your focus. Find the good things in men every single day. Kind of revolutionary, isn't it? And it's not like you have to tell these men anything. I mean, literally just spend a few quiet minutes a day thinking and imagining sending love out to them. Like, I love how generous my dad is. Imagine sending him gratitude. Imagine sending him love. Imagine him smiling as he receives that. And I want you to do this daily for 30 days. Even if it's just a minute or two a day, you will notice changes in the men that you attract. So do it and report back. Oh, and actually, even better, share this episode with a girlfriend now who's single too, and do this together. Like, it will keep you accountable. Send each other a message daily. Who are you sending love to? And then send me a DM on Instagram and tell me what happens, because I absolutely love these stories. And then step number 3, if you want to stop attracting these emotionally unavailable, avoidant men and attract the men that you do want, we have to change those beliefs in your subconscious mind so that your subconscious mind is on board with you actually attracting the kind of man that you want, so that it's actually helping you weed out the emotionally unavailable, avoidant men and is drawing your attention to all the men who are indeed perfect for you. Because right now it's doing the opposite. Just close your eyes for a second and I want you to listen to these 7 statements. And just make note of how many feel true for you. The right men see my value, they choose me, and my happiness is a priority for them. I am someone men make an effort for. Real, committed, lasting love is meant for me. I attract kind, loving, genuine men easily. The right man, love, it finds me. I recognize the wrong men easily, move on swiftly, and so better comes along faster. Love happens easily, it happens naturally for me. So how many of those felt true? And obviously these beliefs are based in love about yourself, men, dating, and what's possible for you. These are the beliefs that we want to have installed in your subconscious mind. Because like I said, what you believe, what feels true for you, is always going to be what you experience. And most people have this backwards and think, I need to see it before I believe it. When I meet the incredible man, then I'll believe he exists. When I find love, then I'll believe it can happen for me. But that's backwards. And as long as you wait for evidence to change your beliefs, you will never find love. You will only continue to attract these same emotionally unavailable, avoidant men who prove all the unloving beliefs you currently hold to be true. What you believe comes first. Love follows love. It always starts with you. So if those loving statements, those loving beliefs, they didn't feel true for you, then that means you don't yet have the beliefs that you need wired into your subconscious mind that will make attracting the right man inevitable for you. It's kind of like expecting Google Maps to take you from your house to your friend's new place, but you've typed in your home address as the destination. Like, you're not going to go anywhere. So how do we rewire these loving beliefs in your subconscious mind? Forget saying affirmations or trying to think positively. Like, we need to create actual change at the subconscious level, and that takes a level of awareness, consistency, and repetition that just is not possible for the vast majority of humans. So there's a whole bunch of different techniques, tools, and modalities that create change directly at the subconscious level and can clear those unloving beliefs that are keeping you stuck attracting the wrong men, replacing them with those loving beliefs, what you want to experience, and they can do it in a single or just a few sessions. My favorite tools, and you'll find these inside Attract Your Man, most are as simple as pressing play on an audio. EFT, hypnosis, subliminal audios, rapid resolution therapy, neural energetic encoding are some of the ones that I love to use. And I've seen insane results in so many of my students. Neural energetic encoding is particularly amazing. You can start a session feeling so heavy and frustrated because that belief, I only attract emotionally unavailable men, it just feels so true. It feels so locked in. And literally get to the end of a session in under an hour, and it feels laughable that you ever thought that. Nothing brings me more joy than when I see that happen for my students. If you're new to all of this, definitely go do your research. There are tons of books to read about your subconscious mind, the power of your beliefs. Feel free to hit me up on Instagram if you want some recommendations as well. Or it's also all waiting for you inside Attract Your Man. So if you haven't already, make sure you check that out. The link is in the show notes. It's this work though. This is how I've helped hundreds of women now go from dating men where you're constantly wondering if he's going to disappear to men who show up consistently, plan dates, are interested in you. They want to get to know you. They want to impress you. And instead of spending months trying to figure out where you stand with the guy that you're dating, you attract men who are clear about what they want, that their life is actually better with you in it. They want to make it official because they see something real with you. This is what I want for you. And I know this is what you want for you too. This is what you deserve. And now you know how to make it happen. So like I said, definitely have a listen to this episode again. Make sure you're really clear about what to do from here, and feel free to DM me anytime on Instagram if you have questions. And then if you don't already, make sure you follow or subscribe to the podcast, because this is the first in a whole series. I'm going to be doing each week dissecting why you attract the men that you do, and obviously how to break the pattern underneath so that you can attract better. There will be so many freaking gold nuggets for you along the way. I think I already have about 7 of these episodes planned. Why you feel invisible to men, why you attract the men who seem all keen and then pull away, the men who only want one thing. Goes on and on and on, doesn't it? So yeah, subscribe, follow the show, and until the next episode, love always.